I did include a post that I wasn't sure that I wanted to. Somebody posted a photo of somebody who's on the news right now, and I'm just gonna say it lightly, like it's not a great energy to tune into, to be quite honest. But we do talk about auras, and auras are not just beautiful auras. Auras are sometimes icky, and that does indicate this state of being of that person in that moment, at that time in their life. Sometimes it's like atrophy. It's like you die slowly, energetically, piece by piece, and it is represented in the aura. And over time, you develop these chasms in the field that fester and turn into voids, or other auric phenomena, bleeds. These can even go into different lifetimes as well. You will see a lot of sometimes people born, and in their aura you can already see, okay, there looks like there is damage here. It's not that they're not connected to their light, but you can tell that there are bruises, for example, within the field, bleeds, different sort of features, already in the field that indicate sort of agitation, sometimes like irregularity or ridges, for example. These usually come from trauma from a past life, that this soul is utilizing that energy to map out a particular life path for themselves that they know will create the sort of expansion that their soul is seeking out. So this does happen, and of course it's that soul's choice to do that, but it is interesting. And of course, many of them are developed within our lives as well. They're always developed within a lifetime, whether it is this one or another one. It doesn't really matter. You can heal them in the same ways. And I just am talking a little bit about that because somebody posted a photo of this guy. I don't really like tuning into this energy, but there is a way that you can block, by the way. If we're talking about psychic empowerment, you can block energy. You can sort of tune your awareness in such a way where you're an observer of a situation, where you can still tap into the energy of something, but without completely tuning yourself into it, where your own energy is being affected by what you're tuning into. This is also called boundaries as well. And you see this mixed up a lot of times with some healers. For example, some healers who have a lot of trauma that they are currently working through, and they don't have the adequate boundaries to be a healer for somebody else, even though the other people may feel good afterward, but they're oftentimes giving their energy, and they're not having those boundaries that enable you to kind of remain in an objective perspective and not sacrifice your own energy or your own thoughts as a result. This goes for your own trauma as well. This is one of the first reasons that I talked about auras, is because you can actually see trauma in the field. You can actually become aware of points in your aura that lack light. And by focusing light into that field, literally just imagining your beingness, your light filling that space, it actually helps you gain clarity, because clarity is light and light is consciousness. So when you're calling that in, you're actually revitalizing your focus. You are able to see your situation with more clarity, and you're able to have more direction moving forward as well. But, my guys are having me just kind of pause on this a little bit, because, it's important to understand this distinction. For example, you can kind of take a glance at your own energy or somebody else's energy. But in the case of yourself, there's a difference between literally tuning into a trauma or something in your field. For example, trauma is represented in the field. So there's a difference between literally going in to that trauma in your field versus detecting the trauma from the observer perspective. And by detecting it, you're intuiting the contents of that as well. So you are able to feel what's going on there without letting yourself succumb to it, without letting yourself suffer the way that you suffered when you first incurred that energetic injury, that emotional injury that you have abandoned yourself from feeling because it was so painful. You look away from it, you turn away from it, but just because you've turned away from it doesn't mean that you fully processed it. And if there is unprocessed trauma in your field, it will affect you. But there's a way to detect it, right, without fully immersing yourself in it, okay? And this is why it's interesting to develop the ability to perceive auras, okay? Because you're able to see these features within your aura and establish really effective ways of healing, the way that it was designed. We are made of light. We are not psyches. We are a light that uses our psyches, okay? So if we understand that foundation, you know if your light is flowing, your psyche is clear, and you are in a confident state of being. You are in an empowered state of health, mentally and physically, okay? So regarding this person, I will say Amanda posted this. And thank you for being so bold, Amanda, because, you know, I don't always like people when they post. I don't like when people post these sorts of things. I didn't, you know, in the group, I used to be kind of like, I don't want that around, at least in the beginning, especially. But to be honest, like I was saying, you know, auras are not just beautiful auras. Auras are also icky auras. And that ickiness within the aura indicate a lot of different features within that person. Physically, mentally, emotionally, over time, you know, these traumas or these emotional wounds can fester, and if avoided for long enough, turn again into these things like chasms, like bleeds, you know? So becoming aware of your aura is becoming self-aware, is becoming aware of your psyche, is becoming aware of your emotions, is becoming aware of your mental state of being. Okay, and for example, in this person, he was actually accused of murder, and somebody posted this in here, but you know what? To be honest, it's a great example of voids. I can see about 3 voids on his body, okay? Now, I wouldn't recommend doing this if you guys are in sensitive states of being, because that emotion, again, if you don't have those boundaries, it will affect you, okay? So just be aware, but it's important to tune that little intuitive meter that we've all got, you know? As you're scrolling through the Divine Creators with Cody Facebook group, for example, you might feel, okay, density. Oh, this feels like light. Oh, I enjoy this feeling. I enjoy this energy here. You see, when you scroll through, you definitely feel the density there. You know, and I'm seeing all kinds of things right now because I'm tuning into it, but I'm not allowing it to affect my state of being, but I can feel not so good things. His aura color is green and yellow with a tiny bit of purple secondary. But he's got those voids. And I just wanted to read you just a little blurb in my book about voids, for example. Okay? This book, again, is The Channel of the Universe. It's called, okay. And we're just going to read this little section about voids. It says, voids are black holes in the auric field. They are often an indication of self-sacrifice of your true nature, a compromising of self with chronic commitment to proceeding in a direction opposite of your authentic self. So you can see that's like a coping mechanism, right? For somebody who experiences trauma. Any void or darkness in the energy fields are a result of a lack of light, often connected to a severe level of depression or unresolved trauma. And then void or avoid, as in the word avoid, A-V-O-I-D, void and avoid are synonymous in that voids brew when you are in avoidance of a suppressed emotion. Okay? Chronically. Dark spots like this indicate that person is emotionally trapped in a negative emotion that they have gone on to attach as part of their identity. Despair, forsakenness, powerlessness, suppressed anger, loneliness, jealousy, resentment, and depression are emotions that accompany voids. Never avoid a void, okay? And again, a void, is something that develops over time. And it is an indication of the emotional state of being of that person. Avoidance, okay? That doesn't mean every time. Yeah, well, technically, yes, absolutely. If you are in avoidance for long enough, you can develop things like voids. It'll usually be just dark spots or things like that within the field. However, over time, you can develop that void. And what happens is that void is a point of attraction in your energy fields. Okay? So, that can make you a match to attracting astral attachments, negative entities, that are a vibrational match to that energy in your field. So that's what sort of creates an attachment. The existence of that entity exists because of the existence of the void. When the void ceases to exist, the entity ceases to exist because there's nothing for them to vibrationally attach to. Entities are attracted to you, rather. So it is about how your energy is vibrating that determines the sorts of things that you are, attracting. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. For some of you who are like, why are you posting? Why are you allowing this post on the group? Because there's something to learn from all of us. Merlinda posted Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis's aura colors are red, yellow, and royal blue. It looks like the red is very central to him, but some of the aura colors, some of these pictures, they posted multiple pictures. Some of them have a lot more royal blue, and some have a little bit, less yellow. Some of them have a little bit more yellow. But it does seem like in all the movies that I've ever seen him in, he usually has those colors: red, royal blue, and yellow. And a lot of times actors have multiple colors in their field because they're actors, and they're playing multiple roles, not just in the movies. They're also playing roles by promoting their movies, doing interviews. Some of them are entrepreneurs. It's a whole brand nowadays, So you're a businessman as well. So you'll often see these colors: red, royal blue, yellow, green, often very, very much so greens. Green and blue is a popular Hollywood combo. Red and blue for guys is popular in Hollywood. Yellow and blue. Tan yellow. Not tan yellow, tan blue, rather, which is also called nurturing tan, which is a hybrid frequency of a tan yellow accompanied by a light blue. I don't want to say that they're not really in Hollywood that much, but yellow and blue combos are in Hollywood, not so much tan blue. Tan blues are very kind, just good Samaritan people. They usually live very simply. There are some tan blues in Hollywood. Paul Rudd is tan blue. And I have a list of a number of different famous identifiable people who were familiar with their energies, I have a list of them within the book as well. for all of the common aura colors that we talk about, all the primary frequencies as well. Okay, so scrolling along here. Hi Nomi. Nomi's aura is indigo, and you have like a little bit of is that, oh, you have like a little bit of violet in there. I think you sometimes have like a hue of pink in there. Sometimes it just seems like that in your field. And again, did I read you already? I can't remember. I'm so sorry. But when we are doing, again, the aura readings, be sure, again, and thank you for using a white background again, Nomi. The white backgrounds are so helpful, guys. So a white background, either like two or so feet out, right? If possible. Will just be a much more comprehensive understanding of your aura, because especially when there's a lot of other people around you, you're sometimes pulling in some of their energies and their colors sometimes, especially if you're a crystal, which are a number of you on here that are crystals. Hi, Sindanda. I love that name. That's really cool. So this is probably my favorite artist, Aja Volkman. I have to check her out. She's been a big influence throughout my life. I feel a soul connection. You probably do have a soul connection, because I got chills as you said that. You do have a soul connection with her. And her aura color is violet. Hello, Kristen Miller. I'm curious what color I give off. Would appreciate the feedback. Personally, I feel I'm either indigo or turquoise. Good guesses. I do feel that I have pink and yellow qualities, but definitely one of the empathic colors for sure. You are turquoise. You do have turquoise. And you do look like you have a little hint of indigo as well. So that was beautiful. And you posted this art piece. I don't want to click it because it's going to take me to another page, and I'm scrolling, but it is beautiful, and it does remind me of your aura color, that thing that you did. So you're very familiar with your energy, clearly. Thank you for that, Kristen. So scrolling, friends. Aquafina. She actually went to college when I was going to college at the same college. Sun says, I'm curious to know what color Aquafina Nora Lum is. Okay. She is violet secondary, yellow, and lime green. Again, so she's an actress. She's like a comedian, kind of. I don't think she does stand-up, but she could with her energy. By the way, yellows are so fun. So fun, so funny. You know what I mean? So outgoing. Everybody loves them. I can't think of an aura color that does not like a yellow. I can think of colors that maybe yellows don't like, maybe. But still, they're still very, very, very open. So you'll see a lot of those yellows again in Hollywood. Yeah, so, but she is actually violet, secondary yellow, and lime green. So the violet is her spunky nature. Okay, that's a good word to describe violets, by the way, spunky. You know, because not all of them would even identify as artists, but they have that spunky quality, you know, a little bit spontaneous, you know, as well. Free-spirited, okay? These are all terms that we associate with the violet energy. Sometimes they're a little bit psychic, and they just have that warmth that you feel. You feel like they just have love around them, you know, or understanding around them, okay? Because the purples and the blue spectrum colors all are known as emotional aura colors, okay? And lime green, okay? So the green's almost, you know, I don't want to delineate specifically because it could just get quite confusing, but in general, well, let's talk about lime greens. Lime greens are So greens in general are mental colors. The lime green makes them a little bit more creative, okay? They like to have more fun involved in their very structural, sometimes, efforts towards success. They do like to succeed. They are intelligent, but lime green, the lighter tone of green kind of makes them a little bit more, again, just, they like to have a little bit more fun, even though they like to achieve, they want to achieve while having fun, or in a creative way,